What if I told you that love doesn't happen the way people think it does, that it's not about looks or perfection or being the loudest in the room? It's something deeper, quieter, something that slips into his heart when he least expects it and stays. Love, real love, doesn't crash like thunder. It sneaks in like a whisper, through the things you thought didn't even matter. The little things, the hidden things, the parts of you he didn't even know he needed, until you showed up. A man doesn't fall in love with the version of you that tries too hard. He falls in love with the one who forgets she's being watched. The way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're nervous. The way your eyes soften when you speak with care. The way you laugh when you're not trying to be funny. That's what stays in his mind long after you've left the room. That's what makes him replay moments like a song he can't get out of his head. Seneca once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." That's what many women do in love. Fear makes you overthink, makes you question yourself, makes you try to mold into something you're not, just to be loved. But what if the real secret is being exactly who you are and letting him meet that woman? Imagine a flame, not the kind that burns everything down, but the kind that warms a home, the kind that draws a man closer when the world outside is cold. That's the kind of woman who becomes unforgettable. Not because she demands attention, but because she carries a presence that feels like home, peace, passion and mystery, wrapped into one. She's not loud, but she's impossible to ignore. And when she pulls back, when she chooses herself first, he doesn't just notice, he feels it. Now hear this. If he's not choosing you, it doesn't mean you're not enough. It means he's blind to value. But your job isn't to teach him your worth. It's to know it so deeply that love has no choice but to meet you there. This isn't about chasing. This isn't about proving. This is about becoming. Because once a woman learns how to live like royalty in her own life, everything around her starts shifting. That's when the energy changes. That's when the love she wants starts seeking her. And this is the beginning of that shift. The moment you stop wondering how to make a man love you and start learning how to trigger a connection so deep, so real, that he never forgets you. Not with tricks, not with fear, but with presence, peace, and power. Welcome to the start of something different, something lasting, something worthy of a woman who is no longer chasing love, but calling it in like the queen she was always meant to be. If this message touched something deep in you, if it reminded you of your worth, your power, your presence, then take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard every single day to bring you content that uplifts, heals, and transforms the way you see love and yourself. You deserve guidance that speaks to your soul, and we're here to deliver it, because your journey, Queen, is worth every word. Number 1. He falls for the woman who sees his wounds but doesn't try to fix them, just holds space for him to breathe. Have you ever wondered why certain women stay etched in a man's heart long after the relationship ends? It's not always the loudest, the most glamorous, or the one who tried to fix everything for him. Number A man falls deeply in love with the woman who doesn't rush to heal his broken pieces, but instead lets him breathe in her presence. The one who doesn't make his pain about her. The one who doesn't try to change him, but makes him feel safe enough to change himself. That kind of woman, she becomes unforgettable. He may not say it out loud, but when he meets a woman who isn't threatened by his silence, who doesn't flinch at his emotional mess, something begins to shift inside him. A man is not always drawn to perfection. He is drawn to peace. And when he realizes that your presence allows him to exhale without judgment, without pressure, without shame, that's when something deeper than attraction is born. That's when love begins to grow. Love is not about possession. It's about presence. That's the kind of energy that triggers something real in a man's soul. Imagine a quiet room filled with sunlight. It doesn't speak, it doesn't demand, but it calms you, it holds you, it gives you room to breathe. That's what a woman becomes when she stops trying to fix him and starts choosing to see him. He may have wounds, but he doesn't need a savior. He needs a witness. And when you become that, he falls. Dear lady, if you've ever been told to shrink yourself, to carry his burdens just to prove your worth, stop. That is not your job. You are not here to carry his weight. You are here to know your own. And once you do, once you sit beside him without losing yourself in his struggle, he will feel something no other woman gave him, the freedom to be seen and still be loved. And this is where you rise. Because this kind of woman, she is not ordinary. She doesn't push, she doesn't chase, she doesn't try to fix what he's not ready to heal. She knows her energy is enough, and once she sees that clearly, she becomes the trigger to a love so deep he never knew it was possible. This isn't weakness, this is power, this is presence, and that presence, it awakens everything. So now, lovely woman, step into the truth of who you are. You are not here to fix broken men. You are here to stand tall, calm, radiant, until the right one sees your stillness as the peace he never knew he was searching for. And that's when he falls. Affirm this with fire. I hold space, not burdens. Queens, write this in the comments right now and claim it with power. Let the world know you are done breaking yourself to build someone else. And if this spoke to your heart, if it gave you clarity and strength, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard every single day to bring you real, life-changing lessons, because you deserve love that sees you, values you, and rises to meet the woman you already are. Number 2. He falls deeper when your silence says more than your words ever could. Have you ever noticed how quiet moments can say more than 1,000 words? The way you pause instead of reacting, the way you choose silence over begging. That's not weakness, that's power in its most graceful form. A man doesn't fall in love with noise. He falls in love with the way a woman moves in silence, with the way her energy speaks when her mouth doesn't. When he pushes your limits, when he expects a dramatic reaction and instead meets your stillness, it leaves him stunned, because silence, when rooted in self-worth, becomes louder than any argument could ever be. There's something hauntingly beautiful about the woman who doesn't explain her worth. She simply lives it. He notices it in the way you stop reaching out. He feels it in the space where your voice used to comfort him. And suddenly, the silence he once ignored becomes the sound that keeps him up at night. Because you're no longer trying to win him, you've already chosen yourself. That is the hidden trigger. That's the moment his heart realizes. You were never just another woman, you were the woman. As the philosopher Lao Tzu once said, silence is a source of great strength. And in love, silence becomes your armor and your mirror. You're no longer reacting, you're reflecting. He sees himself clearer in your stillness than in your words. And that reflection, it either makes him rise or makes him crumble. But either way, it awakens something in him. Think of a candle in a dark room. It doesn't shout, doesn't scream. But the moment the light disappears, the darkness becomes unbearable. That's your energy. You were the quiet warmth, the soft presence, the peace he didn't value until it was gone. And now, he's left chasing echoes that once felt like home. But let's be clear, this isn't about staying quiet to manipulate. This is about stepping into a power that doesn't beg to be understood. This is about understanding that you are not here to compete, to chase, or to perform, You are here to reign. And a woman who reigns doesn't explain her silence. She lets it echo. So now, lovely woman, hear this truth. The moment you stop over-explaining, stop proving, stop chasing, is the moment he starts falling. Not just for your beauty, not just for your presence, but for your peace, the kind he didn't know he needed until he lost it. Write this in the comments and claim it. My silence speaks louder than his excuses. Queens, let the world know your energy doesn't beg, it leaves an imprint. We're here, working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that honor your heart and build your crown. Number 3. He falls for the way you walk away from disrespect, like your heart has wings. What if the moment you walked away was the exact moment he realized he couldn't replace you? What if the second you stopped accepting half love and quiet disrespect, a shift happened inside him that he couldn't ignore? Because here's the truth, nothing makes a man fall harder, deeper, and faster than the woman who knows when to walk away. Not with rage, not with noise, but with grace so powerful, it feels like the wind just left the room. You don't have to slam doors to be remembered. You don't have to explain your worth to someone who chose to ignore it. When a woman walks away from disrespect, it burns into his memory like nothing else. Why? Because it's rare. Because most people stay hoping things will change. But not you. You're learning to leave. Not because you're weak, but because your peace is more sacred than his confusion. That kind of energy doesn't just haunt him, it teaches him, it humbles him. Think of a bird with wings made of fire, beautiful, untamed, untouchable. She doesn't beg to be seen, she doesn't wait in cages. The second she feels the air shift, she flies. Not to prove a point, not to punish, but because she was never meant to settle in places where her spirit can't breathe. And when she flies, he finally sees her clearly, and the empty sky she leaves behind, that's where he learns the true weight of her absence. There's a quote that says, "Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see it." But I'd take it further. Your value grows the moment you stop trying to prove it to the wrong person. That's when the shift happens. That's when you rise, not in anger, but in freedom. And that kind of walk away, it lingers in his heart longer than any "I love you" ever could. Now listen closely, beautiful woman. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to choose. You are not here to hold on to someone who can't recognize your light. You are the light. And once you start living like that, something powerful begins. That's when he starts seeing you in every silence. That's when he starts feeling what he once took for granted. And this is when you become her. The woman who walks with grace. The woman who doesn't settle. The woman who flies when her wings feel caged. This is when you begin to live as a queen, not because you were given a crown, but because you remembered who you are. Affirm this now. My silence speaks louder than his disrespect. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. We're working hard to bring you real, raw, and life-changing lessons that help you rise. Because you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to reign. Number 4. He falls for the softness that holds strength. Have you ever wondered why a man remembers the woman who smiled with teary eyes more than the one who raised her voice? Why the memory that lingers in his chest isn't the grand moment, but the quiet strength she carried when her world was falling apart? Let's be real, he doesn't fall for noise. He falls for depth, for warmth, for the kind of softness that doesn't crumble under pressure, but bends, breathes, and stands tall anyway. He falls for the woman who can hold love in one hand and boundaries in the other. A man is drawn to the kind of softness that doesn't mean weakness, it means wisdom. Because when a woman can stay kind without shrinking, stay calm without pretending, stay loving without losing herself, it stirs something deep inside him. He doesn't always know how to describe it, but he feels it. It's rare, it's powerful, and it makes him feel safe in a way that nothing else ever did. He falls for the heart that sees his chaos and still chooses to remain grounded. Not to fix him, but to remind him what stability looks like. Strength is not always about how loud you roar. Sometimes it's in how gently you rise after the storm. That kind of presence doesn't just attract a man, it humbles him. It awakens him. It teaches him what real love feels like. Not performance, not control, but peace. The woman who knows how to carry herself with grace when others would have broken, that's the woman he can't get out of his head. Think of her like water, calm, clear, flowing, but capable of carving through stone over time. She's not here to overpower. She's here to stand firm in who she is. And that's what makes her unforgettable. He may not understand it at first, but with every shallow connection that leaves him feeling empty, he'll remember her. The one who was soft enough to love him, strong enough to leave when needed, and wise enough to never beg. And now, beautiful woman, it's time to stop doubting that strength inside you. You are not too emotional. You are not too much. You are exactly what he will crave once he realizes softness without strength is nothing but sweetness without substance. And once he sees it in you, he'll never find it again in anyone else. So rise, Queen, not in noise, but in presence. Let your gentleness carry your power. Let your silence speak volumes. Let your energy be the lesson. Affirm this now. My softness is my strength, and it is unforgettable. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it with your whole heart. Let it echo in the spaces where doubt used to live. And if this message awakened something inside you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working every single day to bring you the truth, the healing, and the life-changing lessons that your heart deserves. Number 5. He falls when you stop needing him and start enjoying your life without waiting. Have you ever noticed how he suddenly starts paying attention the moment you stop waiting by the door? When you stop checking your phone, stop holding your breath, stop shrinking just to keep the connection alive. It's like the second you stop needing him, he starts needing you. That shift, subtle but powerful, is one of the deepest triggers in a man's heart. Because nothing makes him fall harder than realizing you are not his oxygen. You are the whole sky. You don't have to beg to be loved. You don't have to chase to be seen. When you begin enjoying your life fully, freely, fearlessly, he feels the energy shift. That glow on your face that doesn't depend on his presence. That peace in your silence that doesn't demand a reply. That confidence in your step that isn't waiting for validation. That's what pulls him in. Not your words, not your efforts, your freedom. Think of a garden. When a flower blooms, it doesn't beg the bee to come. It stands tall. It opens up to the sun. It becomes more vibrant by the day. And that's exactly why the bee returns. Not out of duty, but attraction. That's you. The woman who stops waiting for someone else to bring joy and starts blooming on her own. That's the woman he remembers. That's the woman he falls for. As Marcus Aurelius once said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. And when you discover that happiness within, when your laughter becomes real again, your goals start mattering again, your days begin to glow again, it creates a storm of realization in his world. He may have thought he had time, but now he sees you living like he was never the center of your world. That stings, that shifts things, that awakens him. And this is where we stop being the woman who waits. This is where we rise into the woman who reigns, not for attention, but because she finally remembered her worth. The truth is, the less you need him, the more he sees your value. Not because you're cold, but because you've warmed up to your own power. You are no longer standing in the shadows of what was. You're dancing in the light of what's next. Dear lady, let him wonder. Let him miss your presence. But don't pause your life for his confusion. You are not the woman who waits. You are the woman he will wish he never let walk away. Your joy is not on hold. Your power is not pending. Your life does not start when he comes back. It's already happening. Affirm this in the comments, queens. I don't wait to be loved. I live like I already am. Type it now. Claim it. We're working every day to bring you the truth, the lessons, and the power you deserve. Because this isn't just a script. This is your reminder. You were never meant to wait. You were meant to rule. Number 6. He falls for the woman who challenges his spirit, not his ego. Have you ever wondered why he pulls closer to the woman who challenges him, but drifts from the one who constantly praises him? It's not the flattery that touches his heart. It's not the yes that stays in his memory. It's the moment he meets a woman who doesn't just admire the surface, but dares to call out the greatness buried underneath. That's when something shifts in him. That's when he feels something real, something different. A man doesn't fall deeply in love with ease. He falls when a woman reaches the part of him no one else dares to touch, his spirit. He doesn't need more comfort. He needs awakening. And that awakening doesn't come from being told he's perfect. It comes from being seen fully. The man you're attracting isn't looking for a woman who strokes his ego. He might think that's what he wants at first. But the one who truly captures his soul is the woman who makes him think, grow, question, rise. The one who meets his soul like a mirror and says, "You can do better," not to hurt him, but to honor what's already inside him. There's a reason they say, still waters run deep. A shallow stream makes noise, but it's the quiet depth that draws you in. You are not here to splash at the surface of a man's life. You are here to stir something inside him that wakes him up. And yes, that takes courage, but it also takes a woman who is no longer afraid of being too much. A strong woman doesn't challenge to control. She challenges because she cares. She sees the weight he carries. She notices the way he hides behind pride. And still, she stands in front of him, not smaller, not louder, just real. And in that moment, he either rises or runs. If he rises, you've touched his spirit. And that kind of love, it never fades. Beautiful woman, don't shrink for a man who gets defensive when you speak truth. Don't dim yourself for a man who mistakes honesty for attack. He will remember the one who held him accountable and still held space for his growth. And when he's finally ready to evolve, he won't be chasing the woman who fed his ego. He'll be searching for the woman who fed his soul. And that woman, my dear, is you. You're not here to make him comfortable. You're here to make him better. That's the love he never forgets. That's the connection that haunts him when the lights go out. Because in the end, it's not the easy love he longs for, it's the deep one. Write this in the comments and claim it. I challenge his spirit, not his ego. Say it boldly, queens, because your presence is not a decoration, it's transformation. We're working every day to bring you real, powerful, life-changing truths. Because queens like you deserve nothing less than love that sees you, honors you, and rises to meet you. Number 7. He falls when he realizes he can't replace the way you made him feel without even trying. Have you ever wondered why he can't forget you, even after he walked away? Why, no matter how many laughs he shares with her, something still feels missing. Here's the truth. He didn't fall in love with your effort, your looks, or your words. He fell in love with how you made him feel without even trying. And now that you're gone, he's starting to feel the emptiness that no one else can fill. A man may not understand it at first, but there comes a moment where he looks at her and still feels hollow. Because you weren't just in his life. You moved through it like sunlight through glass. You didn't demand his attention. You didn't chase. You didn't perform. You just were. You smiled like peace. You listened like safety. You gave like love was your nature. And that energy, that feeling, he's searching for it now, in someone else who doesn't have your light. There's a quote that says, "People will forget what you said, forget what you did, but never forget how you made them feel." And that's where the weight of his regret begins. He thought he could replace the connection, the ease, the joy. But the truth is, he can't replicate what was never forced. You didn't try to impress him, you just showed up as yourself. And that's the part of you he'll never find again. Imagine drinking from a spring so pure, so refreshing that every sip after it tastes dull. That's what your presence was like. You weren't loud, but you were powerful. You didn't flash, but you radiated. He didn't realize it while he had you. But now he feels the lack in every corner of his life. He's not haunted by what you did. He's haunted by what you made him feel. And that, dear woman, is the kind of memory no man can outrun. You are not replaceable. You are not meant to compete. You were never meant to chase. You were the experience, the emotion, the sanctuary. And now that you're gone, he's realizing what he gave up was not just a woman. It was a world only you could offer. This is your moment. No more shrinking, no more silence, no more waiting to be chosen. You are the woman he cannot forget, not because you were desperate, but because you were real. You left a mark without lifting a finger. And that's the most powerful love trigger of all. Affirm this in the comments, queens. I am the woman he can never replace. Write it proudly. Let the world feel your truth. And if this message reminded you of who you are, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to give you the kind of life-changing lessons that help you heal, rise, and reign. Because now, it's your time to glow so loud, even his silence can't ignore it.